सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ओम ओम नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्ध ज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशांताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ओम करुणावरुणालय पालय मां भवसागरदुःखविदूनहृदं रचयाखिलदर्शनतत्त्वविदं भवशङ्करदेशिकमे शरणं। समस्तब्रह्मविद्या आचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री वेदव्यास वैशंपायन याज्ञवल्क्य आद्य शंकराचार्य वर्यादि गुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। अतः तैत्तिरीयोपनिषत् पारायणम्। We are in the chanting Bhruguvalli Sadachara Pradarshanam. That is the 10th Anuvaka onwards till the end of the Upanishad. Om न कंचन वसतौ प्रत्याचक्षित तद्व्रतं तस्माद् यया कया च विधया बह्वन्नं प्राप्नुयात् अराध्यस्मा अन्नमित्याचक्षते एतद्वै मुखतोऽन्नगं राद्धं मुखतोऽस्मान्नगं राध्यते एतद्वै मध्यतोऽन्नगं राद्धं मध्यतोऽस्मान्नगं राध्यते एतद्वा अन्ततोऽन्नगं राद्धम् अन्ततोऽस्मान्नगं राध्यते य एवं वेद क्षेम इति वाचि योगक्षेम इति प्राणापानयोः कर्मेति हस्तयोः गतिरिति पादयोः विमुक्तिरिति पायौ इति मानुषी समाज्ञाः अथ दैवीः तृप्तिरिति वृष्टौ बलमिति विद्युते यश इति पशुषु ज्योतिरिति नक्षत्रेषु प्रजातिरमृतमानन्द इत्युपस्थे सर्वमित्याकाशे तत्प्रतिष्ठेत्युपासीत प्रतिष्ठावान् भवति तन्मह इत्युपासीत महान् भवति तन्मन इत्युपासीत मानवान् भवति तन्नम इत्युपासीत नम्यन्ते स्मै कामाः तद्ब्रह्मेत्युपासीत ब्रह्मवान् भवति तद्ब्रह्मणः परिमर इत्युपासीत पर्येण म्रियन्ते द्विषन्तः सपत्नाः पर्ये प्रिया भ्रातृव्याः स यश्चायं पुरुषे यश्चासावादित्ये स एकः स य एवं विद अस्माल्लोकात् प्रेत्य एतमन्नमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य एतं प्राणमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य एतं मनोमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य एतं विज्ञानमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य एतमानन्दमयमात्मानमुपसङ्क्रम्य इमान् लोकान् कामान्निकामरूप्यनुसञ्चरन् एतत्सामगायन्नास्ते हावुहावुहावु अहमन्नमहमन्नमहमन्नम् अहमन्नादो अहमन्नादो अहमन्नादः अहग्गश्लोककृदहग्गश्लोककृदहग्गश्लोककृत अहमस्मि प्रथमजारुतास्य पूर्वं देवेभ्यो अमृतस्य नाभाहि यो मा ददाति स इदेव मा वाह अहमन्नमन्नमदन्तमाद्मि अहं विश्वं भुवनमभ्यभवाम सुवर्णज्योतिः य एवं वेद इत्युपनिषदा ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ श्रीकृष्णयजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय आरण्यकान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीयोपनिषत् ॐ यस्माज्जातं जगत् सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरेयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते ॐ अथ शिक्षावल्ली प्रथमोऽनुवाकः शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. We can see now, after so many days of class, what is said by the rishis in the Katha Upanishad ityadi, where Nayamatma pravasanena labhyah namedaya nabahuna shrutena. The study of Upanishads may give us an idea regarding the presence of Paramatma, the truth, the reality. But to experience that reality, our journey starts from where we are. Where we are is only at the very grossest life of Dehadadatma, Jagat Satyatva, and then Bhautikavada. That is why the need of Viveka Vairagyadi, the need of Shamadamadi, the need of variety of the upasanas in which we invoke the grace of all the devatas, rishis, only for this purpose of qualifying us for the Brahma Vidya. When this is done for a sufficient period of time, then only we will be able to progress truly in the spiritual sadhana, and we can feel that contentment and satisfaction and joy, not otherwise. Now, we have seen the fifth Anuvaka completely. In that, the last few lines, if you see, what we have to do is etas chadasras chaturdaha चतस्रश्चतस्रो व्याहृतयः तायो वेद स वेदं ब्रह्म सर्वेऽस्मै देवा वरिमा वहन्ति. Means, in the fifth Anuvaka, what is said is the inner upasana on the basis of the Vyahruti. We have seen last 3-4 days. This Vyahruti upasana is that wherein the three Sthula Sukshma Karana, or any of the three, which are familiar to us, we are with intuitive vision visualizing the presence of fourth. And we are doing upasana of the fourth to such an extent that we have given utmost importance to the fourth. To such an extent even of believing that the fourth alone is real, the other three are only the imagination projections on that. In the three is this individuality. And the beyond is the totality. In this upasana, when this individuality that way recognizes that the total alone is expressing through all individuals, including me, then his interest in the individuality gets reduced. his vision will be of the total. Because he has done Mahaiti Brahma, Mahaiti Tad Brahma Sa Atma and Angani Anya Devata, that sort of maturity has come. Therefore, Tayo Veda Saveda Brahma is the one slowly nearing to know ultimate Brahma, before which he has understood the happenings from the totality standpoint. Taya Veda, Saveda Brahma. What is Saveda Brahma? He is not seeing the world now as it is happening in an assorted, discontinued, disconnected form. There is nothing discontinued or disconnection that is there in the world. Everything is happening as one unit in that Virat Brahma. Brahma here is that Virat Purusha at the gross level, Hiranyagarbha at the subtle level. After which he is not seeing any, what is say, disconnection between anything. That is what the Upasana. Maha is the main Vyahruti. From that came the Suva, from that came the Bhuva, from that came the Bhu. So Bhu is never independent of Bhuva, Bhuva is never independent of Suva, Bhurva Swaha are never independent of Maha. When this is done, the same way with all this, the 4 4 4 4, 4 of the sets, etas chatasras chaturdaha, chatasras chatasro vyahrudayaha. There, the ayam lokaha, in the same way, Agni, and also in the Rigveda, and then Pranaha. So to the Bhuvar lokaha, then Vayuhu, then Samavedaha, as well as the Apanaha. No, these are, and the other third thing as well as the fourth. They are all totally connected. And at the samishti level again, the Aditya is connected to Chandramaha, Chandrama is connected to Homa or Brahma, and it is connected to the Annam. In this way, all when we are able to visualize as one solid thing, then we have understood the whole universe is one. That is called as Tayo Veda Saveda Brahma. As a unit, universally we have to see. In that, if you can identify with the totality, great. Or else, we are an individual, never apart from other than independent of total. Like every limb of the body is in connection with the total Deha. In the same way, any number of Brahmandas, lokas, in every of the loka, any number of jivas are there, including you and me. We are never separate from that. That feeling is called Brahma. That understanding is called Brahma, and maintaining always. And the goal is to recognize the Brahma in his essential nature as ourselves, which will be the theme starting from the subsequent Anuvakas. And because he is identified with the total, not with the individual, all these devatas, they give all the required things to him because he is no more attached to individuality. He has identifying with the total. Therefore, to maintain the individuality, it becomes the responsibility of devatas. Therefore, he never wants anything or possesses anything, but for his own survival, sustenance, whatever is required, the devatas only offer. Like any guru, any mahatma, or even any great social worker. When it is found that he is working for the totality, obviously he is given with all the required facilities. Like he is working for government, therefore he is given salary, he is given traveling allowance, DNS allowance, house rent allowances. If it is a higher post, then he is given vehicles also, he is given quarters to stay also. He is even given so many things because he is working for the total. In the same way, Sarve Asmai Devaha Balim Avahanti means Sarve Devaha Asmai Evam Vidushe, to the one who is identifying with total and working from that standpoint, Angabhutaha Devatas Avahanti Anayanti Balim Swarajya Praptau Satyamityartaha. Because he is at the highest level of identity with the universality. Every devata offers to him whatever is required for his sustenance because his drushti is not on his particular individuality. That will be elaborated in our subsequent anuvakams also. So with this, the Panchama Anuvaka, we try to listen once. But that is not sufficient. We have to go deep again into the details of every one of them and what exactly the Upasana, we have to feel it, understand it. When we do that duly, then only this type of the Falashruti comes to us. Sarvesmai Deva Balimahanti means he need not struggle, worry about any of the things in this world. He, in fact, has transcended it and is attending to the total. Therefore, whatever is needed for him is effortlessly supplied. Devaha themselves. See the contradiction, contradiction, contrary picture. When I am a jiva, identified dehadi, and struggling to fulfill my bhoga through the deha and indriya, I had to beg the devatas. Ye de do, wo de do. And they will do all scrutinization of the application we put only when they are satisfied, then they give in a little quantity. Because I am misusing all the things, devatas become naraj and they don't give at the level of myself being jiva, identified with my own individuality and struggling. When I lift myself to the level of living for the totality through the practical practice of the Vyahruti Upasana, it is the other way around. The devatas themselves, whom we were begging, Balim Avahanti, they only give everything. They only offer everything to us. Anayanti Balim Swaraja Prapto Satyamityartaha. Because now, like a king, why is he given anything? Because he is no more working for himself. He is working for the total samashti, continuous supply. So too in the Uttama Lokas of Devaloka and all. Why so many things are given? Not only from here they have done punya and gone there. They are not free there. They are given the jobs. In those jobs they are working for the total. Therefore they are given all the blessings or facilities. Here also to such a great seeker who has done the sadhana of the Vyarthi Upasana, the result of which when he is living not at the my mera tu tera level, but sabke level, to him the Balima Avahanti. You can see the chief ministers, prime ministers, when they, even at the worldly level, working for the world nation's progress, all the things that come to them, the required things are given, the securities are given, the three helicopters are given for security, and all these black cats around, the bulletproof cars for protection. Further, everything. Don't you see that in the world? So, our struggles is not to survive or sustain the individuality by our own unrighteous means. Our struggle should be to rise above the individuality and identify and live for the totality. Identify with and totally. तब जाकर ऑटोमेटिकली सब आ जाता है. This is a system technique that is kept. The one who is dissociating with the total and starting to live only at the individual level, all facilities are cut. Even his minimum needs also, he will have to struggle to get them. That is what is the sign of utter samsara-ness. Whereas I am growing to understand and work from the total standpoint. Then everything comes to me. And we are not working for everything. Everything automatically comes. And I don't even touch that. Whatever is required for sustenance, only that I take. And my attention is totally in the universal understanding and universal outlook, universal planning, universal idea, ideology, and working for the upliftment of the universe totally. First, that will be at the gross level. Second, at the internal level. Thirdly, at the spiritual level. I will think, plan, work for the total. That when it comes, that's a result of many lives of the Vyaharati Upasana, where the Anga Angi Sambandha is known and everything is known as Anga and the Paramatma, the totality is known as Angi Like when I feed the food to the mouth, that is Angi, all the Angas automatically get the food. They need not be struggled. हर एक चीज को हम खाना नहीं देते. In the same way, the one who's looking and working for the total obviously he is serving every individual also because he is catering to total. Because of that vision, he is given with whatever is required for his survival or his seva, etc., his work. That's the meaning of Asmai Sarve Devaha Balim Avahanti. That's what written here. Swarajya Prapto Satyam. Because through this Upasana, he has given up the Vyaktitva, he has become Samrat because his vision is of total. In other words, the one who has got the vision of the total, even is a small person outwardly, but he is a Samrat. Like Puja Gurudev, Bhagavan, Ramana Maharshi. They are Langoti Baba, they're simple, looking outside, but they are Samrat because they are identified with total. Therefore, all the devatas give Bali to them and they distribute it to the disciples and all of that. They don't keep it themselves. And the people who are at the highest level, because of any political power, if the vision is not for the total and we are looking only for me and mine, all that will be taken away and a big punishment is given to them. Because when you are in the power where you are supposed to serve the total, you have neglected the total. You only have taken care of a group of individuals, that too because these are that wrong reasons. Therefore, this is the punishment. This is somewhat related to, if you can relate in your homework, the story told by that the dogwala story, which has happened in Valmiki Ramayana Katha. That Brahmana has given a beating to the dog. Dog said कि उनको ये महामंडलेश्वर का पीठाधिपति का पद दे देना. No, that's the story which appears to be unrelated to this topic. But go to the next part of the story, then you know. When they asked, राम जी ये क्या हुआ डॉग ने ऐसा बढ़िया सा ब्लेसिंग ही दिलाया उस ब्राह्मण को. Then I will not tell you, ask the dog. Then when he was asked, the dog told him, because without any power only he did this mistake of hitting me. When he is given more power, he will commit so many mistakes that he will enter into so many narakas. So outwardly, appeared that I asked for a best gift to him by making him Mandaladeshwar. But inwardly, I know he'll commit so many bhav there, he'll go suffer so much. That is my main aim. मुझे मारा उन्होंने इनको इतना दुख मिलना चाहिए. So that you learn a lesson. In the same way, with lots of upasana, we get powers. Those powers, if they are not utilized rightly in service and in maturity, the same things become the cause of calamity to us mainly. That's the meaning of here. Balim avahanti, or if it doesn't work for the total, इन्हीं को बलि चढ़ा देते. See, in this world in front of our eyes, every day are we not seeing without fail. The people who started working for the nation, Balima Vahanti, in a short span of time, such a highest level they are kept at. The moment when the people recognize that they are not working for total, they are selfish fellows, उन्हीं को बलि चढ़ाते. Then they are pulled down and thrown on the street. Wonderful it is. Clear? So let us lift our vision from the Anga level to the Angi level. उस दृष्टि से देखें. महा इति तद ब्रह्म स आत्मा. And what we are speaking on these Upanishads and Bhashya is only 1%. It has many, many higher and greater levels. Maha iti tad Brahma. Maha is what? Conceiving bigger and bigger ideas. And Brahma is what? Executing those ideas at a nook and corner for the interest of all of them. And when the question is asked why it is done, because the entire nation and every being of the nation is my own self. That is called as Atma. Sa Atma. That's how it can be interpreted in so many ways. Once you enter into the study of Upanishads, all those interpretations, all those visions slowly start happening. Such person, the whole nation is mine. I am the Atma of the whole nation. Whole nation is my own self. Therefore, Brahma, I will just permeate the entire nation with all my goodness and abilities. And that I execute or express through the Maha by conceiving such programs, plans, which is unbiasedly used for everyone. This is, I am talking about a person who identified the nation. Now expand it to a person who is identified the entire cosmos or universe. For him, the entire universe का आत्मा वो है. उन्हीं के आत्मा में सब कुछ है. Therefore, he knows he is not limited to only these upadhis five. Although it is a counter through which he is temporarily experiencing, but heart in heart he knows that he is Brahma, he is Sarvavyapak. Therefore, every thought, word, deed, whatever expresses through him has its influence of serving the total. That type of thing only comes out of his mouth, not an individualized thing. You observe in all our lives, whatever we think, plan, whole day, मैं मेरा घर फैमिली इतना ही होता है. इवन पड़ोसी का भी हम नहीं सोचते. That is how we are cocooned in our individuality, that too caught up in the panchakoshas, this one. Now that person's every idea is for the total universe. Universe of all the, even devatas, even the sun, moon, navagrahas, including all the flora, fauna and the universe of earth, all the living beings, हर एक को मन में रखकर उनके काम होते हैं. That is called as Maha. He discovers Atma, therefore he feels his presence everywhere, Brahma, therefore he works for everyone, Maha. Or the other way around, he works for everyone, the Maha. Therefore, he feels his permeability everywhere, called as Brahma, and he recognizes that in and through what is there all around is my own self. And that self will be discussed in the subsequent Anuvakas. Clear? So, with this Panchamanuvaka, little bit we touched. If you forget everything in our mind, understand that it has got the Vyahruti Upasana. The three, something other than, beyond the three, support of the three, focus on that. And that fourth one, which is unseen in this every universe, universal everything. That fourth is Maha, that is Brahma, and that is the actual self. And this Maha, Brahma, Atma are not two, ultimately. Here in the exercises, to the each set of the three, the fourth is shown as Maha as an exercise. That was the Upasana. At a higher level, all these Mahas are not four, it is one only. That is called Brahma. And that is none other than the Atma, the self all. Everywhere it is one self only. Like in millions of bulbs that are glowing in the world, is only one electricity. It cannot be two electricity, only one. How many bulbs, fans glowing, moving? सबके पीछे एक है. That's called Atma. Our urgent is only मेरे घर का बिजली बचाओ और बिल कम हो जाए, अच्छी बात है. We think this. We are only consumers, utilitarians. We are not contemplating persons. To think about the bijli, which is lighting the entire universal bulbs. In the same way, we are worried only about our own dehendriya, the sukha. We are not aware about the self, which is supporting the entire universe of names and forms. हमको जरूरत नहीं है ऐसा फीलिंग होता है इन चीज़ों में, बट इट इज़ अ रियल एवोल्यूशन. And always remember, the more we evolve to identify the total, the individual problems get dissolved. The more we don't worry about the total, think about the individual, even to maintain individual becomes a difficulty. And this individuality always struggles with the world. World is busy with the totality. And then when they don't worry about us, then we start becoming abnormal in doing wrong things. Then the totality crushes us. That is how inevitably everyone will have to transcend from the individual perspective to the totality we have seen in course of time. Everyone. Conversely, every dukkha of every individual is only because he is isolated individual thinking, looking only for himself. इस तरह की बातें बहुत होते हैं. नाउ लेट अस कम टू द षष्ठो अनुवाक. First we see the sambandha bhashya, very sweet it is. Then we chant the mantra, then we slowly see the literal meaning, then we see the bhashya. These are four things we do 1 or 2 days में. Okay. Om Shri Parabrahmane Namaha. Samasta Brahma Vidya Acharya Namaha. Vedavyasa Sadgurave Namaha. Vaishampayana Sadgurave Namaha. Yajnavalkya Sadgurave Namaha. Adya Shankara Sadgurave Namaha. Atha Shashtaha Anuvakaha. Okay. Now Avatarika. In the Avatarika, Bhagavan always tells what was told earlier, the summary of it, then he connects it with the next topic. What is that? Bhur Swah Swarupaha Mahaha iti etasya Vyahrutatmanaha Brahmana Angani Anyaha Devataha iti Uktam. Bhuhu Bhuva Swah Swarupaha. Those three which are called as Bhur Bhuva Swaha. All these three. Mahaha iti etasya Vyahrutatmanaha Brahmanaha. These first Bhurva Suva named Vyavrutis are described, explained in the earlier portion as what? Mahaha iti etasya vyahruti atmanaha brahmanaha angani. They are all told to be the anga of the Brahma, who is indicated by the fourth Vyavruti Maha. So the fourth Vyavruti is Maha, Maha is Brahma, and other three Vyavrutis are Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha. These Bhur Bhuva Swaha, these three Vyavrutis are said to be the Anga of the fourth Vyavruti, Maha the Brahma. So who is Maha and Brahma then? Angi. So Angi Rupi Brahma, जो Maha wala fourth Vyavruti hai, of him these three are the Angas, Bhur Bhuva Swaha. This is what is said. Then these are what said, Angani Anyaha Devataha iti Uktam. All of them in the remaining sets also, they are said to be the Anga. So Bhuvaswaha or Angaha, what is Angi? Maha. Then Ayam Lokaha, Antariksha Lokaha, Asau Lokaha are the Anga. What is Angi there? So Aditya. So too for the Chandrama as an Angi, Agni, Vayu, Aditya are told to be the Anga. So too for the Brahma or the Omkara, these three, Rigveda, Samaveda, Yajurveda are the Devatas which are the Anga. So too Pranapana, Vyana are the Devatas which are the Anga, to the Angi, Annam are said. Okay. And then all of them are brought to one. Tava etas chatasras chatusraha tayo veda saveda brahma. Ultimately, even these four Mahavyavrutis are none but the Brahma only. Because tayo veda saveda brahma, it is mentioned there. Now, in this Anuvakam, yasya, that Brahman of whom taha anga bhutaha, all these devatas are only the anga or the limbs. Listen carefully. That Brahma to whom all these devatas are anga. So the moment it is said, immediately we have to remember the 16 as well as the beyond the 16 called as Brahma and Atma. I will tell you in another way. Listen carefully. Every Vyahruti, first of all, when the three Vyahrutis are told, Bhurva Swaha, listen carefully. They are told, which are familiar to all. Then what did Mahachamasya do? He said there is a fourth Vyahruti. He named it as Maha. So this is a fact. Bhurvaswa is Maha as one set. Okay. Then when the four exercises were given, only this much is said. But what is said in the first word, that was not said. What was said in the first sentence? Maha iti, he did not stop there. Tad Brahma Sa Atma. Then Angani Anya Devata. So Mahat Tad Brahma Sa Atma Angani Anya Devata, though in the Moola main mantra is only said to the first three, we have to apply it to all the other. Like the first one, Mahaiti Adityaha. No? Then Adityena Vava Sarve Lokaha Mahiyante. In this, the unsaid two words we have to add and understand. What are the unsaid two words? Those two words which were said for the first example. What are they? Brahma and Atma. So, Adityena Vava Sarve Loka Mahiyante. Then Bhuritiva Agnihi Bhuvaritiva Ayudu. That is what the next set was told by the Rishi and Shruti Mata and Rishi. What we have to add there? Adityena Bhava Sarve Lokaha Mahiyante. Therefore, Tad Brahma Sa Atma. We have to add. With regard to these three, the Aditya is Maha. Clear? But what is that Aditya? From the higher standpoint, he is an expression of Brahma only. That Brahma which was in the example as what? The Maha. Mahavyahuti. Brahma Kahana. So that Brahma ultimately has to be discovered as an Atma. So too when it was said about the three Jyotihi. See, Bhuritva Agni, Bhuvaritiva Suvarityaditya, Mahaiti Chandramaha. Then what is said? Chandramasa Vava Sarva Jyotim Sarve Jyotinshi Mahiyante. That is what is said. No. So with the Chandrama, all these three Jyoti are Mahiyante. So when we see that, then Chandramasa Sarvan Jyotikam Mahiyante, then next we have to add Tad Brahma Sa Atma. Tad Brahma Sa Atma is not changing. Okay. Then the Maha is replaced by Aditya in the set of those three. Then Aditya is replaced by Chandramaha in the set of these three. Then in the set of the next three of Rigveda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, the fourth Vyavrti Maha is said to be Brahma or Om. Brahma can be Veda, Brahma is Om. For the fourth one, Annam is said. But everywhere we have to add, when it is said Annena Vava Sarve, Pranaha Mahiyante, Tad Brahma Saatma. Then Angani Anya Devata. So to Chandramamasa Bhava Sarve, Jyoti Sarva Jyoti Gimshi Mahiyante, immediately Tad Brahma Saatma Angani Anya Devata. So that is Brahma and that is Atma, all of them. And that is the Atma, and to him all of them are Angani. We have to slowly do that type of Upasana. So one self alone, while it is expressing, taking the universal common shape first called as Brahma, then it is becoming divided as the variety of the Mahas. From each of the Maha, the three Angas are expressing. Angas are expressing. Therefore, Bhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, or Bhuvarloka, Antariksha Loka, Suvarloka. These are the three Vyavritis expressed. From where the fourth Vyavriti Maha, which was Aditya in that case. Where from the Aditya came? From the Brahma, universal oneness. And where from the Brahma, it is Atma of the one only, it's called the self of all. It's called Atma. So too, the Rigveda, Samaveda, Yajurveda. For them, the Maha was the Brahma or Omkara. Where from the Omkara came? From the Brahma only. He is the Atma. And this Upasana slowly introduces to us the presence not only of the fourth Vyarati, but those all fourth Vyaharitis are coming from one common thing called as the Brahma, and that Brahma is the self of all. This Upasana. Then comes the Dhyana. And in the Dhyana, we experience that it is one conscious existing self in whom the entire Maha and the other three sets of Vyavritis are manifested for the sake of continuation of this world. That is what we see. A lofty vision. When you are in any factory, so many number of chambers are there in that factory. So if you go to a particular chamber, one work only you will see. It may be a factory where the raw material is mixed up. It may be the next room में जाओ तो the raw material is cut into pieces. A mixed up material is cut into pieces. In other place it may get into a tabular form, tablet. In the next one it may enter into the strips. Some other place they will label it. Any of the company. If you go to each of the isolated room, you see that one. But little far off distance from there you see, then there is coordination between different activities. It's a unit. That is where they are all called a unit. Then you go just up above, little above in the sky for 500 meters. From there you see only a factory is there, a building. Anna, that whole building is Atma, in which the Brahma is happening in the form of the Vyahrutis of each of the departments. See, raw material procuring department, storing department. That is different. That is one Brahma, in that the three Vyahrutis work. So to the mixing of them, that is three Vyahrutis. So from the up above you see, from one only all the things are happening inside. So too from one Atma, which is Brahma Rupa permeated everywhere, and from that only each individual set of four nahi, pehli baat Maha, from the Maha the other three are coming. This Maha, Chandramaha Maha, Agni, Vayu, Aditya are coming. Where from the Chandrama or Anna or Brahma or these are Mahas coming from the Brahma. And what is Brahma? It is self of all. Why the self? Why don't we stop at Brahma level? Because the Brahma Jnana never gives mukti. What gives mukti is Atma Jnana. And the nature of the Atma Jnana is Aham Brahmas. Because मुझे मुक्ति चाहिए ना, मुझे इन्फिनिट्यूड चाहिए. Therefore, inevitably we have to come to the word Atma, self. ब्रह्म उधर है तो मेरे को क्या फायदा? It is me, that Brahma is Atma. In other words, the Atma alone is Brahma. In the sadhana kala, from everything we come to Brahma, we discover Brahma as Atma. After experiencing, we know that the Atma only, when it is permeating everything, called as Brahma, and from that Brahma only, all the Maha, from the Maha, the three Vyahrutis. With that, the entire world's drama, whichever is there, is happening. So the Atma is Parabrahma Tattva. Brahma is there, the Shavala Brahma, the Ishvara with Maya Shakti. Then the Mahat is the Virat Rupa. Maham is Virat Rupa. Then from him only, as we studied in Bhagavatam and other texts, the Samishti Hankara. Then it got divided into three. Satvika Rasik Tamasik Hankara. From the Satvika Hankara, all Adhisthana Devatas came. See, Devatas. Then the Rasik Hankara, all the Karmendriya, Jnanendriya, Antakarana came, which are only matter, which is only Jada. Because Devatas enter them, therefore they become Chaitanya Yukta and function. Sukshma matter it is. Then from the Tamasika Hankara, the Tanmatras came. With admixture of Tanmatra, the Stula Panchamahabhutas. These Stula Panchamahabhutas go into the making of all the Stula Deha required for all the Jivas. So, what do we see in the entire world? The entire forms and names. Where from they all came? From the Stula Panchamahabhuta. That came from there, Samishti, Sakti, Tamasika, Ahankara. But only the Deha is not there, the Indriyas are there. Where from they came, Rasika, Ahankara. But they are not only there as Jada, but they are functional, practical. They are alive, they are living. How is it happening? Because of the Devatas in them. And where from the Devatas, the Antakarana as well as the Tanmatras came, they came from the Sattvi Rasi Tamasik Ahankara. वो सब कहाँ से है? Samishti Ahankar se. Where from it came? Maha. Where from Maha came? From the Ishvara, the Brahma. And what is that Ishvara? When he has withdrawn his Maya, he is Atma. Once, twice, thrice, fifth, sixth, 7 times when we listen, slowly we enter. It's a matured level of intellect thinking, which when is freed from the mind, and the mind when it is freed from the senses and all the negativities, the worldliness, that stamina to the intellect comes to think all these things. That ability to go deep into thinking all this happened to a matured person. Maturity is intellect is freed from the clutches of mind. Mind is no more a slave of senses. Senses are no more a binding things to the objects of the world. That is inevitable. वहीं लगे रहोगे तो वहीं फंसे रहोगे, उससे थोड़ा हट जाओगे तो you can think. It's everywhere. When you are lage raho with your body and the pain, you will be only at that level. When you little bit pull your attention from that and start taking Bhagavan's name, your mind starts diverted towards it. While giving medicine, whatever, or anyway medicine is given, आप देखते हुए रोने के बजाय भगवान का नाम लो. The more we go on involved in Bhagavan नाम, you are not even aware of the body and its pain. मतलब हम जहाँ फंसे रहते हैं वहीं रहते हैं, अगर हम छुटकारा पाते रहते हैं तो हम सत्य की तरफ जाते हैं. That's a simple thing. Okay. Now, having said this, they say yasya taha anga bhutaha, all the devatas which are said to be the anga of that Atma, taha tasya etasya brahmana, of that Brahma who is an Atma, sakshat upalabdhyartam upasanartam cha HRUDAYA akasha sthanam uchyate salagramaha iva Vishnu. Of that Brahman, whose angas all the devatas are said as in the earlier Anuvaka. So all the devatas are anga. Who is an angi? Brahma. Now where is this Brahma? Which is the place is available and how to obtain him? These two are the most important things in life. Like a utility and value of a diamond is spoken. कितना ग्रेट है, इट्स ओनली थिंग विच इज नेवर ब्रोकन, सो ब्राइट शाइनिंग एंड ऑल. सब बताया अबाउट द ग्रेटनेस ऑफ द डायमंड, बट इफ यू डोंट टेल वेर इज द डायमंड एंड हाउ टू प्रोक्योर इट, ऑल दैट इंफॉर्मेशन इज वेस्ट. नो, जितना भी महिमा उसका बताया, बहू बताओ ऐसी चीज है ही नहीं है, अब क्यों बकावे तब से? व्हाई डिड यू से ऑल दैट? Anything when we glorify something, but say ultimately that it is not there, or I don't know, or where is it, I can't say, is useless. Therefore, when it is said in a loftier vision, the entire world, whatever you see that are happening, all of them are happening in the Devatas. They are the Anga, the Brahma is Angi. Immediately, two things could happen. One is this curiosity, inquisitiveness to know where that Brahman. Then it is followed by another question. Therefore, where is he available and how to reach? So, upalabdhi sthana artham, upalabdhyartham, upasanartham. Sakshat upalabdhyartham, sakshat upasanartham cha. Upalabdhyartham means location. Where is he found? Then upasana means the process to reach to that location and experience it. And then only the spiritual path leads to the ultimate goal. Then only when that experience comes, the mukti is there. Therefore, simple word is what? That Brahma, to whom is all devatas are said to be anga, of that Brahma, upalabdhyartham, sakshat upalabdhyartham. For having sakshatkara of that Brahma, what? And also upasanartham. For the sakshatkara of that Brahma, through the process of sadhana, what is said here is HRUDAYA akasha sthanam uchyate. The place of ability as well as the way to reach out is said. Like what? Salagrama iva Vishnu. In the Upasana Prakriya, see Shankara Bhagavan ka Bhashyam. सालग्राम है विष्णु. इन द पुराण के बाद वाले काल में, भाष्यकार तो बाद में आए ना, वेद वेदांत तो वो पहले के काल में. तो हिज एग्जाम्पल इज नॉट वेद रिलेटेड, his example is our times related. In his times, that you want to worship Vishnu, then where do you look for the Vishnu to worship in the beginning? It is in the Vishnu we do. So who is the Vishnu? The all-pervading Paramatma. And what is the connection with the Vishnu and the Shaligrama? Shaligrama is a Upalabdhisthana for the Vishnu, although he is pervading everywhere. At this point of Upalabdhisthana, with the given sadhana, when we apprehend or catch the Vishnu, from that standpoint, when you see, the same Vishnu is pervading everywhere. In this world, for everything, there should be an Upalabdhisthana. That is why the offices are located there. And if anybody says, I am running this office, but there is no place, then nobody goes there. Is it not? The state government, where is Upalabdhisthana? Go to assembly. Central government, where is the central government? Every nook and corner of the country, it is available. But to go to the central government and contact it, anywhere you go, it won't happen. You have to go to the parliament only. Understand? The Upalabdhi Dwara, Upalabdhi Sthana is very essential. Although it is pervading everywhere, which will be the experience later on, but you need to have Upalabdhi Sthana. So the Ganapati is always pervading, but that particular spatikam or whatever the red stone is the Upalabdhi Sthana for the Ganapati. And to obtain that Ganapati, whatever process to be done is called as Upasana. So Sakshat Upalabdhyartam, and for that sake, for the Upalabdhi, the required thing to be done is called Upasana. For the sake of Upasana also, Hrudaya Akasha Sthanam Uchyate Stalagramayo Vishnoho. In the next Anuvaka, the place of availability of that Brahman for whom all the Devatas are Anga is told. And that place is none other than the Akasha of our own Hrudaya. Now you understand. Any Vedanta literature, any of the Bhakti Shastra, ultimately where do they advise to find Bhagavan? नाक में, कान में, कहाँ फेफड़े में, पेट में, जिह्वा में बोलते हैं, आंखों में. Anywhere you study, don't they indicate the Hrudaya Sthana only? Therefore, where we have to search for Bhagavan to apprehend him correctly, after which we will see him everywhere. That is later on. But उपलब्धि के लिए भगवान के लिए कहाँ ढूंढना है? पाने के लिए is only in the Hridaya. In the Hridaya only Bhagavan has to be seen. That's why any temple also when we go, have darsana Bhagavan with eyes. Immediately we close the eyes and feel that Bhagavan in our heart. Even छोटे बच्चे भी बिना बताए भी कर देते हैं. They look at the closed eyes. For that matter, every experience, good or bad or all that, we feel in the heart only. That is why सुख भी हुआ कितना बढ़िया है करके आंख बंद होता है. दुखी हुआ बहुत चोट लगी है करके आंख बंद होता है. What is the meaning of आंख बंद होना? दिल में देखना. आवृत चक्षु आवृतत्वम् इच्छति. In the Hridaya only, Paramatma has to be recognized. Therefore, what is spiritual sadhana at this junction? After all that what we have studied is, we transcend the first three vyavritis of Bhurva Suva of Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya Kosha, and then go into the Hridaya Akasha, the Vijnanamaya Kosha. There only the Brahma, who is the Angi of all the Devatas, the Anga, who is the Angi of all the Angas Devatas, will be available. Again, I am repeating, Bhagavan is everywhere. But that Lord is seated in our heart for our own searching Him and finding Him. He is available for us there. मीटिंग पॉइंट होता है कि नहीं, किसी दोस्त का घूमना है, यार मैं घूमता रहता तू भी घूमता रहे, चलो मिलेंगे. ऐसा नहीं होता. He will tell them that bus stand or that railway station or that particular hotel, I'll meet. When you meet him, then with him you go everywhere outward. So point of meeting, Upalabdhi Sthanam. Now be attentive, be careful here. From now onwards, our only two sadhanas is, first sadhana is to reach to the heart. Second sadhana is to discover Paramatma in that. This is spirituality to be carried throughout life by us now. अब तक इसका हमको क्लैरिटी नहीं मिला. We are doing upasana to the Lord in various idols and all. That was all Bahya upasanas. We were trying to see the devatas, even in the manner as Rama and Krishna and all, नाम लेकर उनका रूप आदि ध्यान करके. That also is antara sadhana, but not the ultimate. The ultimate is खोजो ढूंढो, where and what is a heart, and in that heart खोजो and ढूंढो the Brahma. You will find him there. In other words, the Brahman found in the Akasha of the Hrudaya alone is the real finding of Brahma. जिनको उनको आप वहां पाओ तो ही उनको पाया है, नहीं तो नहीं पाया. And in fact, that Brahma alone is blissful self. Instead of looking at that Brahma inside and finding him and identifying with him, nobody guided us. We are only going in the opposite direction of the external world. Today's thought is simple but most important. The परमात्मा जिनके खोज में हम पूरा ढूंढ निकले कितने जन्मों से, वो और कहीं नहीं है, हमारे हृदय में आत्मा के रूप में है. So in my own हृदय आकाश, the Atman alone is a Brahma who is the Maha for the entire universe as an Angi, to whom entire things are Anga. Whether they are the Jyotir Mandala, the sun, moon, and stars, and all of them, they are Nakshatra Mandalas, they are the Pranapana Vyana Vayus at the Samashti level, they may be Rugyeju Sama Atharvana Vedas, which are uttered or chanted, and all of that. ये लोक हो, अंतरिक्ष लोक हो, स्वर्ग लोक हो, all of them are Anga for this Angi, the Brahma, who is Atma, who is to be found in the cave of our heart, in the space of our heart. Clear? In other words, right now only we'll share that space there, which is conscious space. Alone is Atman, alone is Brahman, alone is everywhere. And in fact, on that only, first the place, second the time are superimposed, in which the entire world of micro and macro are superimposed. If this one clicks to us, then our whole understanding about Paramatma and our sadhana meditation takes totally a different U-turn. Then it is not that we search the Lord through all this world. We discover that the Lord alone is true real, on whom the entire world is superimposed. It is like take a dabba or a bottle. What is there inside? His space is there. What is there outside? Space is there. Now again ask the question, where is the space, where is the bottle? The answer is what? Space is everywhere there. And in the space there is bottle, and in the bottle there is space. Now which is the reality here? Even the thing called as bottle also is a gross manifestation of space only. Grossness of the space is called as bottle, which is as if dividing the space into the outer and inner. In fact, there is no inner or outer space. Space alone is there, one without second. Be attentive. In which the bottle came, then in the bottle a space is felt like. Now, take this example to the cosmic level. Like in the outer space also, in this space ki tarah, in the space only all are hanging, na? The suns and moons and stars and earths and planets, सारे किसमें हैं? आकाश में है. Akasha, classified, are all these things. Even this Akasha, the Sthula and the Kala, Akasha is space, they are grossification of the Parabrahma only. Therefore, the definition is not that in everything there is Brahman. The definition is in the Brahman, everything is supported or rooted or existing. Now we understand Sarva Vyapakatva of the Brahma, Atmatva of the Brahma, why is it said so? But that space in which everything is existing, to apprehend, comprehend, experience it, you have to go to your own heart. And in the heart, the space. And that's what Tatra Vidaharam Gaganam Vishokaha Tasmin Yadantas Tadupasitavyam, the Dahara Vidya of the Mahanarayana Upanishad or Mantra Pushpam or Narayana Suktam talks about that only. And what is studied in Bhagavatam, 15th chapter of our 11th Skandha, Bhagavan told Uddhava how to meditate on him in the heart. No, we were told to meditate first on the entire form, after that on a particular limb, then we are told to drop all that and visualize only Chidakasham. So right now only let us keep one thing in mind. Entire universe in its sublime form is nothing but Chidakasha. And that is me. Chidakasham Akashamaham Bhaje. Chidakasha Rupam, Chidanand Rupam, all of them are same. In the pure conscious space only, the gross subtle spaces, the mental space, and the gross space got manifested. In the mental space, the mental world of thoughts, in the gross space, the gross world of objects got manifested, appeared. And all of them are illusory. They come and go. But the conscious universal space, which is Maha, which is Brahma, which is Atma, is eternal. Our goal is to transcend all these Sthula Sukshma Karana and reach to identify with that as ourselves. First, that is experienced. Thereafter, you may come back to play the game in this world, like any Jivan Mukta. So therefore, three Vyarutis, we have got a fourth one as the cause and substratum of them. It is called as Maha, and this Maha is there in the set of every three, and in every set of the three, the Maha is actually one. That's called Brahma, and that Brahma is to be experienced for the liberation as an Atma. And where is Upalabdhisthana? Like the Vishnu is available in the Shaligrama. Upasana karte karte, Shaligram mein Vishnu हमको मिलता है. So too, where is it? Hrudaya Akashi. And what we have to do there? Know that it is Upalabdha there and do all the sadhanas to reach to it. All of them are called Upasana. That will be taught in this Anuvakam. Most important topic. With this knowledge, then we can do meditation. True meditation. Meditation which gives liberation. Not meditation which quietens the mind, with which you can do your outer business very effectively, outer successes very effectively. That's an insult to meditation. It is binding us more than liberation. But this knowledge, with this the meditation, takes us to the identity of the self. Then we are mukta. In other meditations, जो external जो इधर उधर सिखाते, you are continue to remain as an individual, separate from other individuals, and fighting with the other individual, and struggling to survive in the total. जीव भाव बाकी में, इसमें जीव आत्मा में लय होता है. So, tasya etasya brahmanah sakshat upalabdhyartam upasanartam cha hrudaya akashah sthanam uchyate salagramah vishnoho. Now the next line. Tasmin hi tad brahma upasyamanam. There only when the Brahma is being searched by us, manomayatvadi dharma vishishtam, the one in the beginning who is there with the manomayadi dharma, sakshat upalabhyate, will be definitely experienced undoubtedly, pranavyo amalakam, like an amla in the hand, an apple in the hand. It's only a question of consuming. It is in the hand. When the amla is on the train, on the tree, or somewhere in the shop, it's all vague about. But when the amla is in the hand, that very fruit, whatever you call in English, amla hum kehte hain. So it is in the hand means what? Amla is the best of all the fruits for its all types of aushadhi guna. If it is in the hand means you consume it, your health is in your hands, or it is in your own disposal. Means amla in hand is equal to pratyaksha anubhuti. There you go. Now very careful. In the heart only, when you search out that Brahma, which is having the manomayadi lakshanas, of him you can have sakshat anubhuti. This is the main sentence. Its translation in English. And that अनुभूति is as easy as the that very fruit or goose fruit जो भी कहते हैं in the हाथ में अमलकवतु. And what is Manomayadi? Manomayatva Dharma Vishishtam? This is what will be taught to us in the next and next Anuvakas also. The Panchakosha Vivek कराते हुए हमको उस आत्मा तक ले जाते. In the heart only all these contemplation and rising above the Panchakoshas is happening. Okay, there we will find him. So Manomayatvadi Vishishtam. Manomayatwadi dharma vishishtam brahma sakshat upalabhyate. And what is that manomayatwadi? That we are going to see. Upalabhyate panaviva malakam. Now, this later on will be the next and final step. What is the next and final step? Margaha cha sarva atma bhava pratipattaye vaktavyaha. And that alone later on will be developed into the final stage of sarvatmya bhava. That atma is not one per head or one per individual. It is sarvatra eka eva atma asti. Iti vaktavyaha iti anuvaka arabhyate. For that sake, this anuvaka is starting. So, what is the need of this anuvaka of the sixth one? And what is connection with the fifth one? In the fifth one, the Brahma is told to be the Angi, all the Devatas are told as Anga. In the sixth Anuvaka, that Angi Bhuta Brahma, when we experience him, then only moksha. Therefore, the Upasana has to how to reach him. Before that, where is he available? To tell that the sixth Anuvaka came. And where is he available? In the HRUDAYA Akash. And how is he available? Manomayatwadi Vishishta Dharma. And there, when that Manomayatwadi Vishishta Dharma are also dropped, then Dharmi Rupa, that Brahma is discovered. And this Brahma in me, or Atma in me, is the Atma in everywhere. Sarvatma Bhava. That is what is taught in this particular अनुवाक. Therefore, introduction में ही हमको इस अनुवाक में क्या बताया जा रहे हैं, बता रहे हैं, so that we aim at that and reach out that. I am reaching to my heart, and this is Shankara will not tell. He will tell you reach heart. Heart में खुद घुसना हमारा काम है. Then in the heart, this is what the meditation is to be done, to know the Brahma, which is nothing but the Atma of everything. It is there here in the heart. So आज से हमको कहाँ ढूंढना, मोको कहाँ ढूंढोगे बंदे, मैं तो हूँ तेरे श्वास में, अनुश्वास में, तुम्हारे विश्वास में, तुम्हारे हृदय में. स्वांत सुखाय तुलसी रघुनाथ गाथा. Antaratma Sukha. Raghunatha is not outside. The outside Leela of Raghunatha I am doing only to discover the oneness with the Raghunatha in my heart as my own self. That's called Rama is an Atmara. The Rama is nowhere outside. In the Atma only. The Atma itself is Rama. This is what is the next Anuvakam. Chanting we will do today. Explanation all that. We do it in detail from tomorrow. Om chant it. Beautiful one. Om Saya Eshom Tarahridaya Akashah Tasminnayam Purusho Manomayah Amruto Hiranmayah Antarena Taluke Ya Eshastana Iva Valambate Sendrayonihi Yatrasau Keshanto Vivartate Vyapohya Shirshakapale Vorityagnav Pratitishthati Bhuvaiti Vayau Suvarityaaditye Mahaiti Brahmani Apnoti Swarajyam Apnoti Manasaspatim Vakpatishchakshushpatihi Shrotravatir Vijnanavatihi Etattato Bhavati Akasha Shariram Brahma Satyatma Pranaramam Mana Anandam Shanti Samruddham Amrutam Iti Prachina Yogyopasva. So first we will see the literal meaning of every mantra of this particular anuvak. Then connecting it with what Bhagavan Shankara assured or promised in the Bhashya, the Sambandha Bhashya Avatarika. Then through the help of Bhashyakara's Bhashya of every of the line, we try to understand what exactly said in the entire thing. So here, in a gross way, if I have to say with you, in the Hrudaya, in what way Paramatma is there, first that is explained. While saying that in what way Paramatma is there, that itself becomes the contemplative effort of contemplation to reach to him. हृदय में परमात्मा ऐसे हैं बताते हैं, और ऐसे हैं को समझने के प्रयत्न में ही परमात्मा को हम जान लेते, not as a other than me or my own self. Then that Paramatma, be attentive. How he, Paramatma, that self me, who have discovered myself me, how I eject out of this particular Pancha Mahabhuta, Panchakosha Deha to become identified with the totality. Because Sarvatma Bhava की बात हो गई ना, how he emerges out to identify with totality, that is said. The totality also again with the at the gross level, subtle level, and at the ultimate level of the Brahma Tattva. So that is what this particular Anuvaka has, a very substantial, very sublime, very subtle, very permeating theme, which needs a lot of patience and attention to study. अब करेंगे वो क्या? कोशिश करेंगे ना, क्या अब डर क्या है? जब होगा समझ आएगा, बट कोशिश जारी रहेगा. So saya eshantar hridaya akashe. So that Brahma is in your own hridaya akasha. Tasmin ayam purushaha. He is there in that akasha as purusha. He is manomayaha. He is now we will be in the with the help of the bhashya. What is the meaning of purusha? What is the meaning of manomaya? All that we are going to study. That study at the contemplation level alone pierces through all the superimpositions in the self, and the self as he is or it is, we will be able to apprehend. Guru is giving instructions, and taking those instructions, we are contemplating on the Brahma or Atma as said. When we do it, we recognize him. We recognize him as ourselves. What it is, the process will tell. So he is Amritaha, he is Hiranyamayaha. And after this is done, one part of the episode is over of recognizing that self. Then how he leaves this deha. That Urdhva Marga, the Yoga Marga, the sadhaka's conscious way of living the Marga, body, or etc. Or on him the totality showers, the divinity showers the grace. Therefore, he goes through this route for the higher worlds. And all other, those are not the pursuers of the spiritual self. They all will live from all other ways of the deha only to get caught up in different yonis because of the papa punya. These all, each of these, what I am saying now, are the subtitles. Of them, the explanation will continue every day, little, little. इसको हम एग्जॉस्टिवली पढ़ेंगे, ये वाला छोड़ेंगे नहीं. And all of them again are only upasanas. Ultimate Brahma Jnana will be told not even in this, in the next to next one. These are all the marga for that. So, हृदय में जाना, वहाँ मैं कौन हूँ को पकड़ना, in its essence. Then that me, by my choice, through the kavata of the head, go out to identify with anything of the universe. Anything of the universe means any universal thing of the universe. It can be gross, it can be subtler, it can be causal, it is even beyond. That's called sarvatmya bhava. So all these seemingly looking ambiguous, vague things, we are going to become clear from tomorrow. तस्मिन्नय पुरुष मनोमय अमृतो हिरण्य अंतरेण तालुके स्तनैव आम्रते सेन्द्र योनिः यत्रासो केशान्ति वर्तते विपोहे शीर्ष कपाले भूरित्यग्नौ भूरितिवायो सवरित्यादि महिति ब्रह्मणि. Such one apnoti swarajyam. The falashruti of swarajya, which was said in the earlier, will continue here. He will through that reaches to a state of swarajya. Then after that, Akpoti Vachaspatim, Manaspatim, Chakshurpatim, Shrotrapatim, Vijnanapatim, Etat Tato Bhavati Akasharyam Brahma, Pranaramam, Satyatma Pranaramam, all these Falashrutis will be told. Mana Anandam, Shanti, Samruddham, Amrutam. Iti. Therefore, he Prachina Yogya, ऐसा वाला तुम हृदय अंतराकाश में रहने वाला परमात्मा का ध्यान करो. It is better than searching outside. There is nothing outside. Outside, what is there is only grass. That grass is in contract with your grass. This grass, that grass, when you hit each other, you'll only suffer grossly. There's nothing great that's going to happen or achieve. Go to the Hridayakash and find the subtlemost, having known which everything will be known to be. Nothing but depending on that. You are that Savrat, Samrat on whom everything is dependent. सी दैट राजा का जो वो कहते हैं ना, उनकी जो ऑडेसिटी होती है, ऑल मंत्री सैन्य ऑल आर अंडर माय कमांड. आप नो दिस महाराज, आई एम दैट सेल्फ in whose presence, because of whom the entire cosmos with so many of the universes or brahmandas are happening. मैं वो हूँ. अब क्या हूँ मैं? This body, Panchakosh, and struggling to sustain it, and with every problem coming to this so much of dukkha, and because of this, I didn't know the other fellow and trying to impress him, trying to court them, and when they don't say good morning, we get frustrated. What a stretched way of life we are living here, and what is promised by the Shruti Mata when we follow her. देखो, यही इसी दलदल में फंसना है कि उस लॉफ्टीएस्ट आत्मानंद ब्रह्मानंद में पहुंचना है. Everyone will have to think today as homework and decide. If the decision is positive, then this subject which is there in the next few anuvakas is going to be a lifetime guidance for us. When we follow, we really reach out. What are all those things? Tomorrow we will see. So, the sixth Anuvaka is telling us about the Upalabdhisthana of the Brahma, which is the Angi for all the Devasas, who are the Angas. तो सारे देवताओं के परमात्मा स्वामी जो है वो और कहीं नहीं, अपने हृदय में है. इंद्र, वरुण, वायु, अग्नि, all of them, from whom they came, in whom they are saying, to whom they are doing all the sevas, that Brahma is nowhere outside, is in me only as me. ये वाला है ये शास्त्र. But it's again in many lives of sadhana one reaches. We will see all tomorrow. Om 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 Om. Now, very important thought. अपना दिल किसी को नहीं देना, क्योंकि दिल में भगवान बैठे हैं और लेकर जाएगा तो यू विल नेवर गेट भगवान. इसलिए दिल को दिल्ली में मत भेजो, दिल को अपनी जगह रखो, उसमें फिर खोजो भगवान, फिर एंजॉय दैट. आई एम दैट सेल्फ. ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. परम ऋषिभ्यो नमः. परब्रह्मणे नमः. श्रुतिमात्रे नमः. तत्सत् ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु. We will do 10 minutes of our Vidura Niti also.